Assalamualaikum, good morning and welcome to the Accountancy Bulletin. I'm Nurliana and with me Muhammad Azim. Today's story regarding the new technology, cloud computing, that has been hotly debated by the citizens.
We will cross paths to Kuala Lumpur with one of our reporters, Izzati. Hi Izzati, can you tell us about definition and issues on cloud computing?
Thank you, Azim Eliana. Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Izzati Hasira binti Haru Anwar. And without further ado, let's take a look at the issues that have risen in cloud computing. So, what exactly issues arise in cloud computing? There are some confusion remains about what exactly the function of cloud computing and when the cloud computing is useful for the companies that adopt it. This confusion had caused Oracle CEO, which is Larry Ellison, to express his frustration by saying that the interesting thing about cloud computing is that we have redefined cloud computing to include everything that we already do. I don't understand what we would do differently in the light of cloud computing, other than changing the wording of some of our ads. So, by looking at this statement, it really shows that Larry Ellison was confused with the function of cloud computing adopted by the company. Therefore, the issues arise is how effective cloud computing when companies adopt it, and what are the technical and non-technical obstacles and opportunities of cloud computing that will be faced by the companies. Now, let's jump to the definition of cloud computing. Cloud computing is referred to both the applications delivered as services over the internet and the hardware and system software in the data centers that provide those services. It is the on-demand availability of computer system resources, especially data storage and computing power, without direct active management by the users. In other simple words, cloud computing is the delivery of internet services through the internet. The resources include tools and applications like data storage, servers, database, networking, and software. So, let's take a look on the reasons why some companies, especially accounting firms, develop cloud computing. One of the most appealing reasons to switch to the cloud computing is the cost savings. Cloud computing is the subscription-based pricing model where users will pay the application only when needed. With cloud computing, the need for buying, installing, and upgrading pricey software was removed, as well as the need to pay for large amounts of disk and storage space also were removed. Another reason of adopting cloud computing is it will improve communication and efficiency with the clients. Cloud computing has variety of ways opens up to communicate with clients, like online dashboards and unified communication system. By using cloud computing, multiple people can access the same data simultaneously, and firms can eliminate redundancies and errors occurs when entered data. This will increase the efficiency of internal communication and processes in the company. Other than that, accounting firms using cloud computing can benefit the expertise to ensure all data is rigorously protected in transit and in storage, which will strengthening the data security. Cloud security benefits accounting firms by having industrial-strength physical security to protect against fire or other disasters. It also acts as redundant backup systems to guard against data loss. Cloud security also has end-to-end encryption to protect data moving to and from the cloud. And last but not least, cloud has 24/7 monitoring for security threats. Finally, the last reason of developing the cloud computing is to increase productivity and performance in accounting firms. Cloud computing also more flexible and agile compared to past computing methods. One of the cloud computing's best features is it allows people or teams, especially staff who work remotely, to work from anywhere, whether from home, client office, or on the road. When data and applications are stored in the cloud, they are accessible via any internet-enabled device. Do you know how cloud computing works? No? So now I will explain on how cloud computing works. Before understanding about the working of cloud computing, we need to know the cloud infrastructure. Cloud computing is divided into two sections, which are the front end and the back end. The front end is the site where the users access the internet for data. This is the section where users communicate and can access the data and applications. It includes interaction with computers, networks, applications, and others that users access in cloud computing. Meanwhile, the back end is the side of the cloud computing provider. This includes servers, computers, data storage systems, programs, and others. It provides an exclusive dedicated server for each computer program. What connects the front end and the back end is the Internet. Internet acts as the connection between the users and the cloud. By using the Internet, cloud storage works as a repository of all information, applications, and computing resources. Therefore, cloud can store data on remote servers located around the world. It also provides access to any device like laptop, a smartphone, or tablet as long as there is internet access. Other than that, all data in the cloud can be acted, downloaded, and transferred anytime and anywhere. Cloud is generally works as a decentralized location for sharing information with the help of satellites. Last but not least, since access to the cloud is possible as long as there is the internet, cloud storage allows work collaboration, where the simultaneous access of one data makes it easier for several users to incorporate ideas and work together despite the distance. I think that's all from me. I hand it over to Azim and Liana. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Izzati, for the good explanation on cloud computing's overview. Yana, after what we heard just now from our colleagues Izzati, I would like to ask you, do you know some of the history of cloud computing? Mind to share with us?
Yes, of course, Azim. I am delighted to share with our audience on the history of cloud computing. Joseph Carl Robert Licklider is the man who invented cloud computing in the 1960s through his work on ARPANET, which connected people and data from everywhere at any time. He developed his intergalactic computer network concept, in which anybody on the planet can be connected via computers and access information from anywhere and at any time. When Bob Taylor and Larry Roberts built ARPANET, which is Advanced Research Projects Agency Networks, in 1969, Licklider's concept revolutionized computers and paved the way for what we know now as the Internet. Various virtual machines, VMs, such as those established by computer titans like IBM, were developed in the decades following the 1970s. Following that, telecommunications companies began to sell virtual private networks, or known as VPNs, to the public. Then CompuServe began offering its consumer users a modest amount of disk space in 1983, which they could use to store any files they wanted to upload. And last but not least, Amazon Web Applications Cloud Storage Service was launched in 2016 and has since achieved significant recognition and usage as the storage provider for popular services like SmartMark, Dropbox, and Pinterest. As what we know, many questions arise among citizens out there about the types of cloud computing. I'm sure that our audience excited to know more on this technology. So, can you share with us regarding types of cloud computing that you know?
With every organization today entering the cloud world, it is essential to understand the different types of services cloud computing offers. So, I will explain in detail these three types of cloud services. So, this is the three types of cloud computing services models: SaaS, PaaS, and ES. Cloud computing offers different service based on these three types of cloud computing services model. Okay, what is ES? ES, or known as Infrastructure as a Service, provided by the cloud service providers, which help the customer to access and monitor things like computer, networking, and other services. In ES, the customer can purchase resources on demand rather than buying hardware, which is costly and hard to maintain. So, the famous ES providers are Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and DigitalOcean. These are only a few. There are many more ES providers out there. Next is PaaS. Platform as a Service is a framework for the developer where they can create an application for customizing the previously built application. This service also provided through the means of internet, and here all the management is done by the enterprise or any third-party provider. So, example of company that offering PaaS are Heroku, OpenShift, and App Engine. The last one is SaaS, Software as a Service, a cloud service provided by the cloud company. In SaaS, the customer provides software which can be either for a particular amount of time or for the lifetime. SaaS utilizes the internet and delivers the applications to the customer. The well-known SaaS providers are Google Apps and Microsoft Office 365. Okay, I will explain a bit further about these types of cloud service model using this diagram. Okay, the on-premise model refers to the traditional way of handling software and hardware in most companies. If we were a company or an organization, we would build an IT department and hire IT professional, right? We would buy switches and servers, find the space to house them, supply the power, hook up the cables, and set up networks. We would also install operating system and applications. We would do the troubleshooting too. All this require expertise and manpower for planning, configuration, management, and maintenance. So, traditional on-premise models give us absolute control over IT resources. So, I will give an analogy for us to easily understand. This is like making and cooking pizza at home. We must buy all the necessary materials to make pizza. We must have a place to make pizza and a stove to cook pizza with. In short, traditional on-premise model is everything we made by our own. Yes, infrastructure as a service is like renting a data center from a cloud service provider or CSP. In this model, we as cloud customers don't have to worry about how a CSP manage their servers, storage, and networks. Our job is to manage the operating systems, middleware, data, and applications. Using pizza as an analogy, we don't have to buy a place with a stove. We can rent such a place with a stove. All we need is to buy the necessary materials to make pizza and bake it at home. PaaS, Platform as a Service. This service model provides a platform for developers and companies to create, run, test, host, and deploy applications. It takes away a lot of concerns and issues we would normally have about the operating systems and hardware configurations. This service model allows us to focus on applications and data. This is like calling a restaurant to deliver a pizza to us. All we need to do is to make a phone call, set up the table, fix some water or soda to drink, and then wait for the delivery. SaaS stands for Software as a Service. In this model, cloud customer outsource almost everything to a cloud service provider, including infrastructure, data storage, networks, and applications. The amount of configuration, management, and a troubleshooting at the customer end is minimal. As cloud customers, we do not need to install any special software or hardware as long as our computers have browser installed. SaaS would be more beneficial for smaller companies. They simply buy small thin clients, monitors, and keyboards. All data storage, processing power, and most applications are in clouds. Back to my pizza example, SaaS is like going to the pizza restaurant. All we need is to find the table and enjoy the pizza. That's all.
Oh, I see. Thank you, Azim, for clearing the air. Now we will pass the mic to Auni Putri. Hello, Auni. I would like to ask about the benefits and limitations of cloud computing. I'm sure that many of us wanted to know too. Mind to share with us?
Thank you, Liana. So I will explain to you benefits of cloud computing. The first one is reduce IT costs. Moving to cloud computing could help you save money on managing and maintaining your IT systems. Rather than purchasing costly systems and equipment for your company, you can save money by utilizing the resources of your cloud computing service provider. You may be able to lower your operating expenses because the cost of system upgrades, new hardware and software may be included in your contract. You no longer need to pay wages for expert staff. Your energy consumption costs may be reduced. There are fewer time delays. The next one is scalability. Your company can quickly scale up or scale down your operation and storage needs to suit your needs, giving you flexibility as your needs change. Rather than purchasing and installing costly upgrades on your own, your cloud computing service provider can do it for you. Using the cloud frees up your time, allowing you to focus on running your business. Next, business continuity. Data and system security is a critical component of business continuity planning. Whether a natural disaster, power failure, or other crisis occurs, having your data stored in the cloud ensures that it is backed and protected in a secure and safe location. Being able to quickly regain access to your data allows you to continue doing business as usual, minimizing downtime and loss of productivity. After that is collaboration efficiency. Collaboration in a cloud environment enables your company to communicate and share more easily than traditional methods. If you are working on a project in multiple locations, you could use cloud computing to give employees, contractors, and third-party collaborators access to the same files. You could also select a cloud computing model that allows you to easily share your records with your accountant or financial advisors. The next point is flexibility of work practices. Employees can be more flexible in their work practices thanks to cloud computing. For example, you can access data while at home, on vacation, or on your way to and from work, providing you have an internet connection. If you need access to your data while you are away, you can quickly and easily connect to your virtual office. Last but not least, access to automatic updates. Your service fee may include access to automatic updates for your IT requirements. Your system will be regularly updated with the latest technology depending on your cloud computing service provider. This could include the most recent versions of software, as well as server and computer processing power upgrades. Now I will talk about disadvantages of cloud computing. Cloud computing, despite its many benefits, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have any flaws. If you are thinking about moving your business to the cloud, you should be aware of this. The first one is cloud security and data. To ensure that their cloud environment remains secure, most cloud service providers implement relevant security standards and industry certifications. However, Storing data and mission-critical files in virtual data centers could expose you to risks. The common risks are data loss or theft, data leakage, account or service hijacking, insecure interfaces and APIs, denial of service attacks, technology vulnerabilities, especially on shared environments. Different cloud providers achieve and maintain different levels of security. You should carefully select your provider, ensuring that it is stable, dependable, and reputable, as well as offering reasonable terms and conditions of service. The next disadvantage is cloud downtime. Like any other IT system, the cloud is susceptible to technical issues such as reboots, network outages, and downtime. This occurrence can halt business operations and processes, which can be costly to the company. You should plan for downtime to reduce the impact and frequency of such occurrences, as well as to provide the highest level of service availability for your customers and employees. The last one is limited control. The cloud infrastructure is owned, managed, and monitored by the cloud service provider. You will have very little control over it as a customer. You will be able to manage cloud-based applications, data, and services, but you won't be able to perform key administrative tasks like updating and managing firmware or accessing the server shell. Before handing over any control to a service provider, you should conduct a risk assessment to mitigate risks.
Thank you so much, Auni, for the interesting information you shared with us. Nowadays, there are many challenges faced by accountants with our current country state, right, Yana? So, I'm sure we and the audience wanted to know how cloud computing could solve them. Thus, we will now be with Shafika at our accounting department. Hi, Shafika. Can you explain to us the challenges faced by accountants and how cloud computing solve them?
Thank you, Azim and Diana. I am now at accounting department in our media station. I've asked around about the challenges faced by them as accountants and how cloud computing help to solve them. Here are a few. The first one is the inability to access accounting software and data remotely. For certified public accountants and accounting firms, time is valuable and they need to invest their time wisely while working with their clients. Thus, they do not limit their work only in the office. This latter lead to the demand of remote data higher. As for the solution, cloud computing helps accountants by its ability to access the data and accounting software from anywhere and anytime they wanted. Due to this, accountants only need network connection, a device, and also the authority to access the cloud. The next challenge is the complexities in handling clients' accounting data. As part of their work, professional accountants have to deal with significant amount of clients' data. It often happens where they need to constantly edit the data file before being used, and it is done per client-specific requirement, and thus creates a lot of complications in the hand of professional accountant. They also need to deal with multiple files with the same data, saving them and later send it to fellow accountants. This means the storage for such data files is huge, and the task of saving and sharing same files takes a lot of time. The solution is that by getting data stored in cloud-based storage, it becomes accessible to all users, and accountants are able to save time of sharing same file to fellow accountants. Cloud usage is a friendly user, as once it is edited by a user, it will automatically be updated and the other users can see it too once they open the same file. For example, Google Drive in application Google Docs. This way, they do not need to make multiple copies of the same file. The third challenge is the risk of loss of confidential data. Professional accountants often dealt with confidential data of their clients and they also wanted the data to be safe and secure. Loss of confidential data may bring an uproar towards the accountability of the accountants. By storing the data file in office computer is not enough as it may be risk of a cyber attack, unauthorized system access, and hardware theft. In worst case, the data could not be recovered. So, by uploading the data into cloud computing, the risk of losing valuable data can be minimized. By choosing a trustworthy cloud, the confidential data file can be secure as cloud service implements several security measures, including firewalls, data encryption, and also intrusion detection. The last challenge is the downtime that affects business continuity. In general, accountants use accounting software that has been installed in their computer in the office. However, when having technical errors and system malfunction, the data may not be recovered and the efficiency of doing the work may be interrupted. Ultimately, longer downtime can result in business discontinuity. As example, if an accounting firm is going through downtime, a client may lose their confidence with the firm and the data needed may not be given on time. As for the solution, with the help of cloud computing, the data files could be accessed anytime and anywhere the accountants want, even when the computers in the office undergo system error, malfunction, and technical errors. Accountants could still do their work and maximize their productivity. This is because cloud computing collaborated with Internet of Things, which allows accountants to see the data remotely from any devices they have using the same authority. I guess that's all from me. I am Nurul Shafika Aida, and now let's get back to the main stage with Azim and Liana. Thank you.
Thank you, Shafika, for the very informative explanation. I'm sure it could help many of us in understanding better regarding cloud computing issue. I'm worried about Shafika. She seems tired.
Yes, of course. She will be working until the late midnight. Surely she is tired. Alright, until here only our accountancy bulletin. Thanks for watching our local news. On behalf of all of us, see you next time.
Bye-bye.